Lord have mercy. Am I in here now? Hope so. Hold on. Testing, testing, testing. Can the masses hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Goodness gracious. I had to goddamn flee from work. Trying to hold me hostage up in there. Perfect. We are live. Where's my shit? Apologies to the masses for this late run. I had everything ready to go. I had it set up and everything. My in-office Wi-Fi is BS, and it would not send you the link that I had. I sent Marcus the link 50 times, and it would not send. It just wouldn't send. The Wi-Fi inside of my office is BS. I'm trying to work on my curse words lately. Goodness gracious. My AC is going. I was supposed to be down here 10 minutes ago in my vehicle because this is my lunch break. And I was going to put the AC on, make it real cool in here so y'all wouldn't hear it in the background and all this stuff. I need to get a microphone to just clip on me, like one of the TikTok microphones that they're pushing out. That way, if the AC is on, y'all won't even hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's about to be the season where I won't even have to turn my car on to cool it down because this is going to be cool in this car. We're about to be in that season, so you won't even hear that. But once we are done, once the AC like is cool enough, y'all won't hear it. So sorry if y'all do hear it in the background. We are back, full season swing. Welcome back to another episode of uh the Dirty Bird Nature Report, the unofficial official podcast of Falcons Twitter. I'm here with Marcus. Everyone thank Marcus for coming on. So sorry for not having this live on Twitter as well. I'm not giving Elon Musk money to have this on Twitter. So sorry. I know a lot of y'all like that. But y'all are gonna have to just come to the YouTube, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications to see it on YouTube. Because I'm not giving Elon money to stream live onto Twitter. I'm just not. But if y'all want that and y'all want to donate to have that happen every month, y'all can hit us up and I'll give the cash app. And the cash app will just go to pay Elon for Twitter, but I'm just not doing it out of my pocket personally. So yeah, now that that's all out of the way, go ahead and like the video. We're here to talk about that shit show of a game on Sunday with the Steelers. It should be called TJ Watt versus the Falcons because he beat our ass. But that was such a piss poor performance. All off season has been all this hype about the new regime and the new $180 million quarterback that we got, along with the $2 million backup that we drafted. Yeah, blah blah blah. We're gonna come up here, and we're gonna whoop ass. It's a new day, a new dawn, and everything's gonna go just swimmingly and great like frosted flakes. And it's gonna be nothing like what y'all have seen before. It's gonna be better. All that just to look like the same Falcons for the past, what, 6 years? Just to look like the same fucking team. All that hype just to look the exact same as we've looked before. I don't know what the hell that was. Like, what were we looking at here? And I'm glad I was distracted at a baby shower. Shout out to my homegirl and her husband. Me and her husband, we were watching it during the baby shower. Yes, look now. Look, football comes first. Nobody told her to have a baby shower during a football game. But we was watching the game and we was doing baby shower stuff. So I was distracted for most of it. But I did also catch like a good 70% of the game during the baby shower. But
Having
that
have
that
ha, having a baby shower week one of the NFL season, that's selfish. I'm sorry, that's selfish. You got to know better than that. Come on, like that's not a real friend. Do that shit on a
no,
Saturday.
and she a Falcons fan. I'm like,
Oh,
bro,
she's at. She must have knew. She must have knew then.
bro, come on now, week one. I'm like, you could have did this during preseason, not officially week one.
Yeah, that
So
baby
next
wasn't going.
time,
That baby wasn't going anywhere. Preseason game number 3. That baby would have still been in there.
exactly,
Do it then.
bro, exactly. I was like, dog, next time y'all decide to have another one, do it during preseason. All right, baby shower has happened during preseason, not regular season.
Facts.
So where are we gonna start? Where are we gonna start,
Well, before we get started, I just want to say one of my favorite things about being on this show is that there's no pre-pod meeting, there's no like warm up, there's no intro, there's no like foreplay. It's just get it on and let's just get to it. Get to the Falcons, get to the content like immediately. So I dig it. Uh, I will say like I've watched a few things and read a few things about the game. Like I had the game on the TV obviously, but the Colts were playing at the same time, so I was focused on that. My main note whenever the Colts game would go to commercial or they were with dead play or whatever, and I would go back to the Falcons game. TJ Watt is good at football, and did the Falcons offensive coordinator not know that? Like you might want to like double team that guy, maybe chip him, because every time I turned on the game, it was like, up TJ Watt with the sack, TJ Watt with the forced fumble, TJ Watt with the pressure, TJ Watt with the fumble. I'm like, dog, how many plays is this guy gonna make? A lot of them got, a few of them got called back, but like every time that dude was just making every play, and I was like, yeah, that guy's really good. I can see that from just sitting on my couch here. Did the offensive coordinator not study this guy? Like, what was he looking at?
bro? That's what I said. It's T.J. Watt versus the Falcons because that's all it
And he
was
won.
T.J. Watt beating our asses.
And he won handily. Like he owned that game. He dominated. I mean, obviously, I've seen that before. I've seen a defensive lineman just wreck a game plan, but that's one of the more like dominant. Like that was. I don't want to say like Aaron Donald esque, but like I've seen Aaron Donald do that where it's like, okay, I don't want to say it was Aaron Donald esque because with Aaron Donald, they would double and triple team him and he would still make plays. With TJ Watt, it felt like he was still blocked one on one with no chip, and he was just like, I'm just gonna beat the guy in front of me. Like this guy in front of me cannot block me. Nobody can block me on this team one on one, and you guys are not gonna double me, so I'm just gonna dominate. And I'm going to blame the coaches. Like I coaching all around was pretty piss poor on offense. Like
Bruh.
there's some other things I'm sure we'll get into, but
Uh
if I
huh.
have to blame someone off the rip, it's the offensive coordinator or whoever was calling the plays. Because no,
Yep. So let me tell you, there's like two or three things that pissed me off regarding this Watt situation. The first was we could have drafted him. He was still on the board when we drafted Tack McKinley.
is Pat McKinley still on the team?
He is. I don't even think he's in the NFL anymore right now.
Yikes. Okay, well that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
That
So
sucks.
that's the first thing that pisses me off. The second thing that pisses me off is the offensive coordinator made zero adjustments.
Okay,
McGarry can't handle him,
yeah,
and you didn't double team him. You
that
did
that is
nothing.
that is fair. I right before we got on, I saw like they released the grades for like passing offensive linemen, and the Falcons were second to last. So the offensive line just did a terrible job on Sunday, and
Terrible.
yeah. So when it comes to making adjustments like that, when it's like, all right, let's slide the protection towards Watt, let's double team them, let's chip them. That's an adjustment that's anybody like. I would make that adjustment on Madden. If I was playing Madden, I would make that adjustment. If one guy is destroying me all game, okay, let's double team him. Let's do whatever.
Bro, that's it.
Something the only grace I'm willing to give the OC is he was calling plays with his hand tied behind his back because he has a quarterback that can't move.
Hold on, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
Okay. All right.
We gonna get to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
what I've been
the
hearing,
offensive line was terrible. The offensive line was terrible. It was a bad game
terrible,
play. There's
bro.
no there's no way to slice it.
McGarry, terrible. They need to replace him ASAP. Then I'm hearing from shout out to Falcon fans and the Falcoholic that our OC is a first time play caller. I'm like, kid, what do you mean a first time play caller?
He came
And on
from the
top of
Rams, right?
that, huh?
He came from the Rams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Zach
So
Robinson.
McVay is calling the plays over there. So it does make sense, but I'm not sure how much experience a McVay guy has if he's not able to call plays. Like if you're just kind of just piggybacking. Like I obviously he does something. He has to help make the game plan, but it's one thing from Monday to Saturday to come up with the game plan, install plays, do all that stuff. But once you get into the rhythm and the flow of the game, and you have to start calling these plays and seeing what the defense is doing and how they're reacting and what your players are doing, it's way different. It's a totally different ball game, especially when you have a guy like TJ Watt on the other side wrecking your shit.
Right. And then on top of all this, the last thing that pisses me off is we got Charlie, I think his name is Charlie something, from the 49ers. He's a tight end. He's a blocking tight end that we paid $12 million. Why wasn't he out there helping? Like at no point were you like, oh, here's this guy we paid 12 million just to block. Cause he has no other stats. He's just there to block. Like he never caught the ball for the damn 49ers, nothing. So we purchased him, spent 12 mil on him, and y'all ain't put him out there to help McGarry. I'm confused. Like, what are we paying people for? I would love to get paid to just sit around and not do my job. I would love that.
American dream.
Like, so all that just didn't make no sense. And Watt completely destroyed us. And it was funny because Jake Matthews did a press conference and he said, I did my job. He said, I was ready. Like, dead ass. He said, I was ready. I did my part. At no point was I on Watt. So
What
I
the
don't know what to tell y'all about that.
he's a left tackle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when it comes to offensive, I'm obviously I'm not an offensive line expert. I'm not, whatever. I didn't have my hand in the dirt. But the offensive line, it's considered one unit. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they grade you guys all as one thing. You're not a receiver where it's like, all right, I ran the right route, I was open, I caught the ball, I did my job. It's not like that. If you're the left tackle and the left guard is struggling and you don't help, that's your fault. Like you need to help. You just can't let your guys just die out there by themselves. Like obviously, he's on the whole different other side of the field, but we don't. If, offensive linemen aren't graded as individuals; they're graded as a unit. So
Mm-hmm.
if your unit is bad, you come in, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that, honestly. Like I'm trying to think. Like obviously, offensive linemen don't talk a lot, but when they do talk and when they're talked about, they're never talked about as individuals. It's always what they do as a unit. That's how, like, no one's talking about, like, oh, well, who has the best right guard or who has the best right tackle? It's who has the best offensive line. If you have a good offensive line, then your offensive line is good regardless. It doesn't matter if you have three good ones and two bad ones or two elite ones, one average one. It's either they're all good or they're all bad.
That's it.
Like coming out there talking about like don't tell me the Falcons got a diva left tackle.
Bro, I swear, in the press conference, I listened to that literally 2 hours ago. And because I saw someone say that on Twitter, I was like, what? So I went to see the press conference, and he was like, yeah, I was ready to go. I did my job. I didn't block Watt. So I was like, bro, really? Seriously? But all right. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips because we won't get rid of him or give him any competition. So, hey, but at
That's
some point, I
that's insane.
understand what people are saying about um, you just can't put um an offensive lineman anywhere. But I really think that one year we should have drafted Penny Sewell anyway, because people can adapt. If you can adapt in a new job, you can adapt as an offensive lineman. Like, I've had probably 4 different job titles, jobs I ain't never did before, and was successful. And if I can do that and people can switch their careers, you can switch to a different position on the offensive line. And Penny Sewell, we needed his ass. But we also, is McGarry the same one with the heart problem, or did we get rid of him? I can't remember. Anyways, let's not take too long on damn offensive line and get to the fucking meat and potatoes of what everybody's been looking forward to. Kirk Cousins. Oh Lord, this man came off an Achilles injury. It's his first time playing since his injury. He went 16 for 26, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions for his welcome back debut after being paid $180 million with about 90 million guaranteed. That is how he came out and performed. Uh-huh. Yep.
He might have
So
he might have finessed y'all, man. Y'all might have got finessed.
minor finesse. It's week 1. Okay. All right. Yes. Am I overreacting? Of course. However, can my overreaction end up being correct? Also, yes.
Yes. I don't know if you know this. Do who did Kirk Cousins tear his? Well, obviously, yeah, he did. He had to because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles week 1, and Kirk Cousins tore it like week 4 or something, week 5.
I can't remember
So
when he tore it, but
I
I
don't I
know
don't know.
it was
I
torn.
watching Kirk Cousins and then watching Aaron Rodgers play, totally different. Especially with them both coming off of the same injury, and when you consider Aaron Rodgers is the oldest quarterback in the league, one would think that the younger guy would, recover better and look better than the old guy, but yeah, it didn't look good. I think I saw a stat that said Kirk Cousins, the Falcons ran 0 play action passes.
Hmm.
He was only under center 1 time, and that was to spike the ball, and he did not move. He couldn't move.
He could
There's
not
I,
move.
I don't I don't know if you saw there was a video.
I
He
did.
was
I know
he wa-
exactly what you're talking about.
he was I don't know who he was trying to throw it to, but the guy was standing right in front of him, and all he had to do was just step into the throw and let it rip, and he just could not do it, and the ball skipped in front of the receiver, and it's just like, oh, you're not ready to play. You're not ready to play. This is
He's not
this is
ready.
I don't know how much time he needs, but I don't know how you can watch that film and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, he's good. He's still good to play." I mm, I have a lot of questions. I would question the
You
medical
have a lot of
staff.
questions.
I'm questioning the medical staff. I'm questioning the people that evaluated him. Uh, this is this is a problem. Like you said, it's only week 1. You don't
Mhm.
want to overreact, but I this
But I'm
yeah,
overreacting.
it might be time to overreact to this one. This is bad. I'm sorry, this is bad.
Yeah. There's a video out there too, and they have every single snap he took. And they're just like, just look at him. Just watch him. Every single snap. The man can barely move. He can barely move. Now, I don't know if he's trying to ease his way back into it and not do too much right now to um have longevity. I don't even know if that sentence made sense. I've had a long work week. I'm doing overtime. Bear with me. I don't know if he's doing that, but if you wanted to like test out the waters with your ankle, your I'm sorry, Achilles, like why weren't you testing it out in preseason? Why are we testing it out week what 1, 2, and 3? That doesn't make sense if that's the case. But
Why are we
the
testing? Why are we testing it out against T.J. Watt?
bro, like why are we doing this? And then Raheem and them are like, he's fully healthy. He's fully healthy. There's no issues here. He's fully healthy. Like, I don't understand why people think we're stupid and like we're not literally seeing this with our eyes. With our eyes. And there's video evidence. We put this ain't the dang 1950s anymore. Technology has advanced. People literally have every single snap in a row that this man took. And you see him. And you see when he puts his foot down, how he's looking. He ain't looking good. He is not fully healthy. And we paid this man $180 million to not be healthy out there and to make boneheaded fucking plays. Like, man, people, man, they breaking down the plays, man. I'm loving this year and people getting on the internet and they're look, here's a play. They have it drawn out and everything. They got the arrows drawn out on where everybody's running and stuff. And they're like, just look here, look here. This one play could have been a touchdown. Kirk just, I think it was Ray was in the end zone or like close to the end zone. He was open and Kirk just fucking threw it out. Like, what are you doing? Like, as a vet, you shouldn't be making these boneheaded decisions. That man was wide open at the goal line. That was a touchdown right there. And you've been making boneheaded decisions for what? And that wasn't the first one. It was a good, like, probably 5 to 10 that I've seen so far of people breaking down the players. I'm like, as a vet, getting paid all this money, I get, I get the QB cap, whatever it is, the market that it goes up. But that was fucking stupid. And this was my problem with getting him in the first place. Is as a Viking, he was making boneheaded decisions. Like he wasn't the best. So this you like that, he wasn't the best. But I'm like, we could have gotten goddamn Fields. We could have gotten people that we had to pay. We could have paid less for a couple years while, and they went out there and made boneheaded decisions for way less money than $180 million. We're getting a vet that won what, a couple playoff games or a few playoff games, and we just gave
One,
him like
one,
all the cash in the world.
one playoff game.
One play, one play. I thought it was one, but I was like, I think it might have been a couple more than one. One playoff game, and we gave this man the bank when we need we need a whole offensive line because Matthews ain't getting any younger, and he's probably the best on the team, and he ain't even that good on the O line. He ain't even that good. We need pieces on defense. Calais Campbell gone to Miami. We need pieces on defense. Like we have all these holes to fill, and we just spent the whole Brinks truck on this idiot
I mean,
again.
it's one thing to as a quarterback to make boneheaded plays and boneheaded throws. Like a lot of quarterbacks do it. Like Josh Allen does it. Uh, Brett Favre used to be very big on doing that, making risky throws. But for them, they had the arm talent to at least get it there. Like Jay Cutler would make boneheaded throws, but he had a strong arm, and that ball's gonna get there. It might go to the wrong spot, but at least it's gonna get there. Kirk Cousins is making bad decisions with a bad arm and a bad leg, or a weak arm and a bad leg,
A
and no
bad
momentum.
leg,
And
an
like I said,
Achilles injury.
I'm not a quarterback expert. I'm not going to pretend to be a quarterback expert. I've never played quarterback on any level, but I do know that if you can't step into a throw, it's not going to get there. I've thrown a football before. I've thrown a baseball before. If you cannot step into your throw, it's not going to get there with any velocity. You're cooked.
Basic physics. Basic physics. And that's what we got. That's what we got.
That dude,
So
look, that
y'all
dude finessed you. This guy is he's a
finesse who?
finesser. He finessed the
He ain't finesse
Falcons.
me,
He finessed them, man. That's like
Terry.
I kind of feel bad now. I kind of feel bad. Like somebody lied. Somebody lied. Someone got over on y'all, and you know what? Now I still think. Okay, do we want to go to the Penix thing, or do you want to stay with Kirk Cousins?
What is a Penix thing? Because first of all, you know who's finessing us? Terry Fontenot. I told y'all, didn't I? I've been telling y'all since day one. Since day one, I've been saying on this show, he came from the Saints. He's an op, and you can't trust a black man who wears cowboy jeans and Wrangler. I mean, fucking cowboy boots and Wrangler jeans. And he's from the Saints. He's an op. He's a fucking op. I told y'all. I told y'all. Okay, we move on to the Penix thing now.
I think the last time I was on here was like right after the draft, and we kind of talked about, at what point after they signed Kirk Cousins did they realize like, oh, Penix is the guy that we want. If we can get Penix, we should draft him. Like I'm always curious to know when they realized that. It had to have been after they saw him and after they signed him. It had to have been, we signed this guy and we're looking at him. We're like, okay, this is not. We can't go on with this. And I would like to know whose idea it was to sign him because I still do not believe that a general manager, an owner, and the head coach are on the same page sign the highest paid at quarterback and then spend a top 10 pick on a quarterback. That tells me from the outside looking in, that tells me that everybody's not on the same page. That tells me that one person is ready to win now, and that tells me that another person wants to kind of build towards the future. So I still don't think the front office and the coaching staff and the general manager, I still don't think they're on the same page. And the conversation that, that's the conversation is being had right now. I guarantee you, after probably as soon as that, probably before the game ended, there was a conversation amongst fans, supporters, and just casual observers talking about when does the Michael Penix era start? Because you can't that game and know that you spent a top pick on quarterback and say he can't. He's not bad. Michael Penix isn't better than Kirk Cousins. If Michael Penix is not better than Kirk Cousins, if isn't better than the Kirk Cousins we saw on Sunday, Michael Penix Jr. is not a franchise quarterback because Kirk Cousins looked bad yesterday or on Sunday. He looked bad.
He did. Now, we all know from pictures after the draft that Raheem was not on board with picking Penix because that's the one time we have never seen him not smile. That was the one time we didn't see all of his teeth. That man stays with a permanent smile. And after the draft, that man his smile was just, he did not have all his teeth out. So we know Raheem was not here for that Penix pick. But I got
Well, I
people.
I don't want it to seem I don't want it to seem like I'm playing the results because Kirk Cousins looks like he can't move and he can't throw the ball. There's a reason, and I said this before. There's a reason why teams don't pay like Kirk Cousins got a max contract and you spend a first round pick on a quarterback. There's a reason teams don't do that. You're putting too many resources into one position. You're spending too many. You're using too many of your assets on a position where only one of them can play at a time. So
Yep,
if you max out Kirk Cousins, then you can use that number 9 pick on a pass rusher or a cornerback
which we should have gotten
or
in the first place.
another receiver on anything to help Kirk Cousins out. If you decide, you know what? we're not gonna get Kirk Cousins. We're gonna pass on Kirk Cousins and we're gonna pray for the best in the draft. And you guys get lucky and Michael Penix falls to you. Now all that extra money we can spend on the best. You can still make all the trades that you guys made. Those trades can still be made, and you could probably make some more, and maybe extend guys that you already have. Like there's so many other options, or you can trade down, trade the pick, get more picks, do something. But you get it,
We could have did,
you're not going
bro.
to convince me. You're not going to convince me that spending a top 10 pick on a quarterback and paying the number one free agent quarterback on the market max money is a good idea. It's not. You do one or the other. You can't do both.
It's not. It's not. We've said it. We've said it's not. It's very few people who have said that it was a good idea, and most of those people that said it was a good idea only said it after it was a bad idea. I don't know what kind of ass kissing people are trying to do about that with that situation, but we all know that shit was a bad idea. We all know that was 180 million could have been sent to get pass rushers, to get O linemen, to get cornerbacks, to get, well, we got a good safety, to get some really good wide receivers. Like, all this money could have been spent on so many other things, because he got 180. Penix got 20 something million. Like, definitely a waste. Like, it was a waste. It was a waste, and that's the fucking black ass bottom line.
Well,
It was a waste of money. And
I'll say,
yes, week one, yeah, we might be overreacted. It might be able to turn around, but it piss poor decision making all around.
I do want to kind of um, address what King Quest is saying in the chat. He's saying that, even if you have Penix in there in the game, he's still going to be getting, TJ Watt is still going to smoke the guy in front of him no matter what quarterback is in the backfield. And I disagree with that because of what I said earlier. The Falcons did not run a single offensive play under center. They did not run any play action uh, plays. There was no threat of, there was no way to slow down the pass rush. A play action, if you, a quarterback going into the backfield, putting the ball out, turning his back to the defense, at least for a split second, makes the pass rusher think, okay, this might be a run play. There was no threat of that. So as a pass rusher, I don't have to worry about a play action pass because they're not doing it. So I can just tee off and go straight to the quarterback. And and if they run the same game plan as far as like, all right, we're not going to do any play action passes with Penix. Penix can move. Penix has two functioning Achilles, and he can step up in the pocket and run the ball. I'm not saying Penix is Michael Vick. He's not Justin Fields. He's not a mobile quarterback, but he can move up in the pocket and get away from something. Kirk Cousins, the moment there was a little bit of pressure around him, he was going down. He can't move. He can't move. He physically should,
Yeah, he can't move.
for his own safety. For his own safety. If that's how he's going to play, he should be benched. For his own safety. If you cannot move, if you can't, I'm like legit. If you cannot move in the NFL, you can't protect yourself. It's only going to get worse for him. It's only going to
And
get worse because now people are what defensive coordinators are watching this film. They see that you can't step up in the pocket, you can't step into your throws, you're not going to do any play action, you're going to be in the shotgun the whole game, you can't move. They're either going to blitz the shit out of you or they're just going to sit back and I don't know if you saw his that if you follow next gen stats on Twitter, they put out every quarterback's passing charts. He had
mhm.
they put out the percentages for reference on deep attempts. Deep attempts are passes that are 20 yards and further. The percentage of Anthony Richardson's passes that went beyond 20 yards was 16.8%.
Mm.
Would you like to take a guess of how many of Kirk Cousins' passes went beyond 20 yards?
0%.
What was that?
0.
Yeah, the answer is zero. He
Yeah.
can't put he can't get the ball downfield. He can't. So I can either just blitz you and you can just try to dink and dunk your way down the field, or I can just drop eight and man up everybody, bump and run, and just let you. You're not gonna beat me over the top. You're not. This is unless he's going to get better, unless that Achilles is going to get better, the Falcons putting him out there again is negligence. It's negligence.
See, but that's the problem. The that's not the problem. The problem with that is you can't not put him out there because we dropped a Brinks truck on him, 180 million. So he's got to get out there. We got to use and abuse him to try to recruit that 180 million. You know what I'm
I would
saying?
I would try to sue him. I would try to sue him. I'm
You
like,
can't sue him.
bro, you said you was healthy, dog. What was that?
You
You're
can't
not
sue him
you're
because
not healthy. You can't
if
move.
if the goddamn um what you call it when they decided they're gonna do this, if they didn't do their due diligence and medically clear this man and be like, yo, he can play at 100%, during blah 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 blah. ABC 123 double me. If they didn't do their due diligence before giving him this bag, that's on the Falcons' part. Cause y'all were dumb. Granted, training camp, we've seen training camp videos, right? The man was moving. So it's just like, why aren't you wanting to move now in the game? Like, what's going on? Like, y'all dropped 180 million on him. Arthur Blank, you got a $200 million yacht. I've seen it on Below Deck Mediterranean. They pointed out your $200 million mega yacht. It is huge. I need you to go to the black market and get whatever drugs you need to drug up this man's Achilles to heal it. You need to fly in the best doctors to heal this man. Give him something. Maybe he should have been with Aaron Rodgers in the Columbia jungles doing that Oscars Bagash, whatever Aaron Rodgers doing this offseason to get better. Maybe you should be doing that. But Arthur Blank, you made an investment. Use some of your $200 million yacht money, or was it a billion? I don't know however much that goddamn yacht was to fix Kirk Cousins because this is your investment. You got the money. You are a billionaire. Use some of that to make him better. At this point, we need to do what we got to do. We did Norris Gate. We need to do fix Kirk Cousins Gate and inject him with something in that at this point. Because you need to get your money back. You need to get your return on investment at this point. Because this don't make no goddamn sense. This whole offense didn't make sense. Oh, let's not harp on that. King Quest on the Deshaun Watson comment. Elaborate on what you mean by that. The
If
rest of
if
this
this
offense,
is if this is
huh?
what Kirk Cousins is going to be, like if this is if this is the baseline, like he's either going to be a little bit better or a little bit worse, but on average, he's going to be what we saw against Pittsburgh. You guys have the worst starting quarterback in the division. He's the worst starting
And that's a
quarterback in the
damn
division,
shame.
and that's saying a lot because Bryce Young looks terrible. He looks like he is
Ho-
not ready to play in the NFL, but Bryce Young can at least move. He can at
he can
least
move.
he can throw the ball. It might not be to the right person, but he can get it down the field. Derek Carr is just average. And now, man, god damn it. Like every time I picked the Falcons to be the number one seed in the NFC. And if this is what Kirk Cousins is gonna be, y'all
You
might be in the top 10 again and picking in the draft.
so you're the
Now
problem.
now I would feel now if to, and maybe this will happen, but if between now and y'all play on Monday, oof, Monday night, Jesus, that's gonna be rough. If between now and Monday night the Falcons decide, you know what, we've seen enough, we're just gonna roll with Penix, see what he can do. We're gonna trust the weapons that we got around him and let him figure it out. He's an older quarterback. He should be a little bit more NFL ready. Like his floor should be a little bit higher. I would feel better about that than you guys just rolling with Kirk Cousins the whole year. Like I know it's week one, but I've seen enough. I've seen enough.
You've
Like,
seen
no,
enough.
no, thank you.
We've
Like,
seen
okay,
enough.
you're a Falcons fan. I'm not a Falcons fan, but
Yes, you
I
are.
I know because of my timeline. I know Falcons players. I know who Kyle Pitts is. I know who Bijan Robinson is. I know who Drake London is. Who the fuck is Ray McLeod or whoever that? Who is that? I mean, why is he the leading receiver on that team? Who is
Bro,
that?
I was just about to get into that shit. Offense. We got we got to do better. So Ray was we picked him up this offseason. Him and Mooney. I forgot what team Ray came from. I want to say the Bears, but I could be wrong. My bad. I'm just still trying to figure out why that's your government name. But you know, that's a different topic for a different day, and it's just got to be handled among us black people. Cause Ray, Mama, why? Well, I hope that's not his government name, and that's his name usually for football. But anyways, Ray McLeod was a number one receiver over Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Darnell Mooney, who we gave $39 million. $39 million, and Darnell only had one for 15. $39 million, he only had one for 15, and Ray had four for 52. Only for 52 yards though. How many Drake have? Drake was 2 for 15, and Pitts was 3 for 26 with one touchdown.
On a busted play.
The math ain't mathing here. The math ain't mathing.
Because I've
And
I've
Ray, I think is short. I think he's short.
he looks
You
short.
know,
I've
Breeze hates him.
I've I've seen Drake London be productive with bad quarterback play. I've seen Kyle Pitts be productive with mediocre quarterback play. I know Bijan Robinson is a playmaker. There's no reason that Ray, who just got here 3 months ago, should be the leading target or option on any offense with those guys on it. No excuses for
Hello,
that.
hello. Like I was so confused. I was like, I was because I had the headphone in of Baby Shower. Ray caught the Ray. Are you kidding me right now? With all the weapons we have, I'm hearing Ray's name the most. And again, y'all know me and money. Mooney with $39 million only had one. I want my return on investment for Mooney. Giving that man $39 million. He only got one catch for 15 yards. I'm gonna need y'all to fix it. And then we couldn't get the run game going either. Bajan only had 18 for 68 yards. I forgot how many Algier had. I heard he made some good runs. Again, the game was in my ear mostly because I do Baby Shower stuff. But I heard Algier, did his thing too. But we gotta get that run game going. Ain't no way we shouldn't be able to get the run game going with Algier and Robinson. Two horses. It should be like Coleman and Freeman again. Like they should be both hitting almost 1,000 yards for a season. Again, it's week one. It's week one. Yes, are we overreacting? But do we also have PTSD as a fan base? Also, yes. Does the team look the exact same as they did before with the new regime, new quarterback, new players? Yes. So of course to we don't trust this team to do better. Now they could do better. They could. Hey, we're probably gonna go 0 for 3 in these next 3 games. It's the Eagles and the Chiefs up next. It's gonna be a shit show. We just need to be. It's gonna be a shit show, and be surprised if it isn't a shit show.
Who do y'all
But with a
play after the
quarterback that can't move,
Who do y'all play after the Eagles?
we play the Eagles and then the Chiefs.
Oh Jesus Christ! Oh wow!
Yeah, 0-3. Here we come. And the Chiefs is a home game.
Is it a primetime game?
I don't know,
Don't
but
tell
I
me
know
y'all
we
gonna
play
get
here at home. I
y'all
think
about
it's
to
1 o'clock.
y'all about to have to bust it open in front of Taylor Swift. That's crazy.
Man, you know what? I was about to say F Taylor Swift, but She's not a Trump supporter, so you know, as much as I'm not a fan of her, gotta give her a little grace there. And she didn't sit in the box with Brittany Mahomes, because Brittany supported. What's that? This ain't a political show. My bad. But I'm just saying, So yeah, Taylor Swift, she probably gonna be there in the building supporting her man who is looking very white these days. It's frightening. He looks whiter than his brother these days.
Really?
Like Jason, he's been a white man this whole time. Travis has been looking like I ain't even gonna say the term that we be using for them kind of white people, but he been looking like that. He been looking on the black side, and now he looks like a full on white man and looking like he drives trucks and spits out tobacco out his mouth. Have you seen him? He
Yes,
looking
he look
crazy.
his haircut looks crazy. He looks like he just went to the barber and be like, "Hey, fuck me up,
Right.
fuck it up real quick."
Fucking up.
Appreciate you, bro.
um. Oh shit. I was looking at the time. Defense, real quick. Defense. I mean, they didn't let them score a touchdown, so that's great. Um, Bates, he didn't have to rip off that man's helmet, but he did. He ripped off Najee's helmet in the beginning of the game. I'm like, sir, you did not have to rip off that man's helmet, okay? But you ripped off his helmet. Maybe he said something real out of pocket, so you had no choice but to do it. But he ripped off that man's helmet. Um, People were saying stuff about AJ not looking very good. I don't know if he was or not. I mean, I don't have no qualms with the defense. Um,
Weren't most of the field goals over 50 yards? Like I'm pretty sure
I
at
know I
least
remember two for sure, but I
yeah,
can't recall the
at
rest.
least two of those kicks were over 50 yards. So if a defense gives up zero touchdown and five field goals, I'm not looking at the defense talking about you guys should have did more. Like shut up.
Yeah,
Don't no, shut up.
like I saw shout out Kenny. He was like, we need to start a dialogue about AJ, and I was just like, I I was at baby shower, y'all. The game was in my ear. Sue me, you know. I watched what I could, but if we need to start a dialogue about AJ, y'all go ahead and put it in the comments. But defense did their job to me. But if they didn't do it to you, go ahead and write that. Put it in the comments. I'll probably rewatch the game so I can actually watch it this time. But they didn't let them score. Um, Last important thing, real quick, I want to talk about. Um, I know y'all been seeing that video about Tyreek Hill and the police. And I just said it wasn't political, but fuck it. Cap kneeled for a damn reason, and now y'all are seeing the reason. Y'all been like shut up and play football, but now that y'all saw that Tyreek Hill video, and Calais Campbell was actually there and trying to stop them from doing that to Tyreek Hill. Now y'all want to be like, oh my God, bro, we've been telling y'all this is happening. And that's exactly why Cap was kneeling silently. And y'all said shut up and play football. But now that it's happening to a football player, y'all are like, oh, we've been trying to tell y'all this whole time. The
Yeah,
video was horrible. You know, hey, y'all need to apologize to Cap. All y'all talk about y'all play football and stand for the damn flag. Hey man, it's like damn. Y'all want to wait till now to come around that it happened to a football player because y'all didn't think anybody could be touched. But we've been telling y'all this is happening. This shit gotta stop. The police gotta be reformed. Like 6 months classes ain't enough. They need psychology checks. Like they need to go through the ringer. Psychology checks, background checks. The program should definitely be like 5 years instead of 6 months to be a police officer. Cause people be doing the most. That was ridiculous. And yeah, it's got to stop.
pretty bad, pretty bad. And that could have had that. That literally happens every day to people
every day,
every day. But
every
he
day.
was he was lucky enough that there was people, recording it. Like
Yep.
I don't know how that day goes if there's not the cell phone video and people are able to get there pretty quick. So
Yeah. Shout out to nobody being hurt. Calais Campbell also wasn't hurt because they got aggressive with him. I'm like, he was just, that's the most calm, tall, big old teddy bear man I've ever seen. And y'all getting buck with him and he's real calm. I'm like, come on, bro. It's so ridiculous. That shit happens every day. It's got to be stopped. And y'all that are like, oh my god, now help us stop it. That's what the whole cause was. That's why Cat was kneeling. All that stuff. We're just glad it wasn't worse. I know some people don't like Tariq Hill from his background and stuff, and all that stuff, but he still ain't deserved that. None of us deserve it. So that shit gotta stop. Any ending comments before I gotta get out of here and back to hell? I mean work.
yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. Appreciate you having me on once again. If you guys could uh, head to my YouTube channel, Marcus Sniffles. Got some good stuff over there. And just real quick, how does it feel to have Arthur Smith and Justin Fields coming to y'all's house and win?
Aha, aha, aha! You are hilarious. Won by field goal. If it wasn't for the kicker, they wouldn't have won. Okay, so that don't got nothing to do with Arthur Smith. That was all special teams and that kicker. And whoever had that kicker on fantasy, you lucky son of a bitch, because I know you got a shit ton of points.
Oh my God! It must be nice to have a kicker on your fantasy team. That guy
Yeah,
had 20 plus
Breeze.
points.
Breeze. If y'all don't know, we're in a fantasy foot. Shout out KTSC Av. Y'all need to go subscribe to that channel too. I'll put all channels in the description. That's where you can find Breeze at every single week. We're gonna connect one day on here. I have to do a night show this week. I'm gonna do night shows and more lunches. But Breeze won't let us have kickers on our fantasy team. So y'all go protest. Go at him and tell him to fuck off. And he cheated. He was the commissioner and he got first pick. How do you get first pick as a commissioner? Make that make sense.
I'm
It don't.
protesting. I'm protesting.
We're
Taking a knee.
protesting.
I'm taking a knee.
We we taking both knees, god damn it. Cause fuck him. But anyway, y'all follow Marcus, follow KTSEF, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to their channels as well. And we'll be back sometime this week. I'll probably do a preview episode on Friday or Monday. Either way, more lunches and hopefully a night show every single week. And on that note, we are out of here.